Honorable Dafiamapo.
Speaker, I am very grateful for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by the Honorable Minority Leader, bringing this very important matter to your attention. Mr. Speaker, I can sympathize with the Majority Leader and his battalion that you come to work in the morning as Majority Leader, and by close of business, you are living for the House as Minority Leader. Mr. Speaker, we are urging on you to apply the decision ably delivered by Professor Michael Kwe on the 43rd day of Saturday, November 7th, that it is of similar effect and applicable mutatis mutandis in this matter. Mr. Speaker, the constitutional language of joined, as used in Article 97, 1G and H. What are the incidents of joined? Mr. Speaker, let me reference the House to Constitutional Instruments CI 127. Regulation, Mr. Speaker, particularly Regulation 14. Mr. Speaker, Regulation 14 is in respect of allocation of symbols and colors when candidates file before the Electoral Commission to contest in an election. The processes that happen under Regulation 14, Mr. Speaker, is that the Electoral Commission, upon the closure for filing of nomination, allocate symbols and colors, so that under Regulation 14(1) of CI 127, where a candidate is sponsored by a political party, that candidate is allocated the political colors of the party that sponsors him or her. Mr. Speaker, under Regulation 15 of CI 127, the candidates, Mr. Speaker, are published in what we call the notice of poll. And Mr. Speaker, the notice of poll, the Electoral Commission is constitutionally mandated to gazette it. And in publishing the notice of poll, the candidates as they file are indicated on the notice of poll regarding your position, if you're on the ballot paper. Mr. Speaker, the facts as being narrated points to the fact that the 4 members of Parliament, one, the Honorable Andrews Amwakwesiama, who also happens to be the 2nd Deputy Speaker of this House, serves in this House as an independent member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, you had cause to pronounce on his decision to caucus with the majority. To caucus with the majority is to do business with them. It doesn't constitute joining as a member. Mr. Speaker, if mere caucusing with them was sufficient, why has he taken the definitive step now to file on the ticket of the NPP and to be sponsored by the NPP? Because that constitutes joining properly so-called under law. Mr. Speaker, there's operation of automaticity of law. That's right. And when we are reading the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, we are enjoined to interpret the Constitution as a whole, and we also read it as a whole. In reading the entire Article 97 as a whole, Mr. Speaker, these are the incidences that the framers point to. Article 97(1) says, a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament. A, when upon the dissolution of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, when there's a dissolution of Parliament, you don't have to go to the Supreme Court for an interpretation. It is automatic. You cease to be a member because the incident, the action of dissolution of Parliament has occurred. So there's no need to call in the Supreme Court to interpret anything. B, if he is elected as Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, when Speaker Joe Ajaho as a member for Akachi South got elected as a member, by operation of law, he ceased to be a member of the House. And the Honorable Ahiafo, who is before us here today, got the opportunity to be elected to replace him, as it were. That is operation of law. There was no need for anybody to go to the Supreme Court to seek an interpretation as to whether or not upon the election of Honorable Dua Ajaho as a member of Parliament as Speaker of the House, whether he had to vacate his seat. That is automaticity of law. Mr. Speaker, D, if the member is expelled from Parliament after having been found guilty of contempt of Parliament by a committee of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, when that happens, it is automatic. You leave. There's no need for a Supreme Court to come in. Mr. Speaker, if we go to E, or having abandoned E. F, if he resigns from office as a member of Parliament by writing under his hand addressed to the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when this happens, this House cannot be debating this matter. That a member has resigned under his signature, and whether or not by resignation there's a vacancy in respect of his seat. It is automatic. Mr. Speaker, so it is automatic that under 97(1)(g), if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election in Parliament to join another party. Mr. Speaker, we are saying that these members have joined another party or have departed from the party that sponsored them and brought them to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, in making all these arguments, let me read in extenso the rendition by the Honorable Professor Michael Kwe on the very faithful day of November 7th, 2020. Mr. Speaker, I hear this to say, honorable members, before our visitors come in, there's a ruling I have made on the petition for the declaration of the Formina seat in Parliament as vacant. Parliament is in receipt of a petition from the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, inviting the Speaker of Parliament to declare the Formina seat in Parliament vacant. Mr. Speaker, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Andrew KWESI, who has been written to, has responded accordingly, and copies are attached to the ruling. The NPP invoked Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana 1992, which provides that a Member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party, or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. The Constitution of the NPP, which the MP freely subscribed, provides in Article 3, Clause 9, Paragraph 1, that a member of the party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party, or who joins or defects his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate, when the party has sponsored a candidate in a general by-election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. The moment the MP filed his candidature with the Office of the Electoral Commission to contest the next election as an independent candidate, it shows clearly that he seeks to leave his party. This automatically triggers forfeiture of his party membership. He cannot have the desire. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we need to listen to your predecessor here. He cannot have the desire to leave take a step towards it by filing as an independent candidate and yet claim to be a member of the party. The step taken to contest against his party automatically triggers forfeiture of membership. Having forfeited his membership of the party on which ticket he was elected to parliament, the operative language of the constitution is that he shall, which is mandatory, vacate his seat in parliament. Going by a purposive interpretation of the present law, constructive action on the part of the MP is important. With all intents and purposes, he is no longer a member of the party. He has pronounced himself publicly as an independent candidate and has filed papers to compete against the party and its official candidate as an independent candidate on 7th December 2020. On that occasion, this current parliament will still be sitting and operating as an official parliament of the Republic of Ghana. We shall not have a situation adopted freely by any city MP where he or she would be campaigning openly against the party that he or she still represents in parliament, and yet ridiculously stands against the party. No purposive interpretation of law will allow such a ridicule to prevail. Mr. Speaker, furthermore, after 7th December 2020, when Parliament is still in session till 7th January 2021, how does an MP operate both as an elected independent MP and at the same time an MPP member if he should win the election? This lacuna of a ridiculous situation is not what is anticipated under the 1992 Constitution. In the circumstances, it is determined that the conduct of Honorable Andrew KWESI amounts to vacating his seat in Parliament. Accordingly, we bring this to the notice of the Electoral Commission for the necessary action to be taken in accordance with the law. Signed, the Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the gravamen of this argument is eruditely captured by the ruling of Professor Michael Quay. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, we are saying that the matters as envisaged by the Constitution in Article 97 are clearly given birth by the conduct of our four colleagues. And Mr. Speaker, we are only urging upon you to enforce the decision ably given by Professor Michael Quay on 7th November 2020. Mr. Speaker, which decision has remained unchallenged and remained good law and has guided this House ever since. So, Mr. Speaker, I will want to pray you that the need to elect another deputy speaker, which must come from NDC side because of Article 93 of the Constitution, is rife. And I believe that awareness, that reality, is what has shocked the conscience of our brothers. And they must know that the Constitution, the enforcement of the Constitution, is our above duties that we must uphold. Mr. Speaker, with these words, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. I have listened to the comments from members after the minority leader submitted before the House a statement under Order 93. Both the statement and the comments have raised quite serious issues of procedure and substantive law. And I think I need time to go through them. Because what I believe is that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And when you plant evil, you reap evil. And so I want to take a few days to submit a reasoned ruling in this matter. I see that this is not only an urgent matter, but a very serious national issue. And there's good reason why the constitutions after the 1960 constitution differed because of the issue you are raising of some refer to it as cross-carpeting, others say crossing carpet. They refer to one and the same thing. So please, having gone through all these constitutions and having gone through all these parliaments in the Fourth Republic, and having experienced all what you have stated, I think I'll have to do justice to the subject. And so I need to present to you a very well thought out ruling, so that tomorrow I will not either be crucified or hailed, but the right thing would have been done. So I thank you all for taking your time to submit to us your understanding of both the procedure and the substantive law. My attention was drawn to this by the leaders that it is a serious matter. And it's true that the Honorable Haruna Idrisu gave me a copy of a notice of a petition on this matter. It was not a petition, it was a notice of petition. And you know through our procedures how they should be processed. And that is being done. That is different from the statement that has just been made. Even though the subject matter is the same, the procedures are different. It's also true that the majority leader drew my attention to the fact that he has sued me. Me, not Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, but Speaker of Parliament. That office, not me in person. And so he's taking that to the Supreme Court. I also listened to the comments on the proper venue. Those of you who commented talking about the High Court and the determination of these matters. The other disagreeing with his procedure of going to the Supreme Court. But the reliefs are quite different from what he said, what he told me, because I have not been served with the process yet. And so that is still not before me. So please kindly give me these 2 days and I'll come here with a well-written ruling. I will submit it to all of you so that at the end of the day, justice would have not only been done, but would have been seen to be manifestly done in this matter. Yes, please.